If you run a contracting agency and you're doing $5+ million a year and you feel like, well, the business only grows whenever you push it. Also, the marketing seems like a weird mixture or jumble of agencies, word of mouth, and like some random content. And just to beat you to death even more with a stick, like a horse. The idea of scaling and exiting seems like it's stuck because everything that grows the business is really dependent on yourself. Well, I want to show you the exact marketing system that these companies are using to grow and scale past 5 million plus per year. Do you give me the permission to tell you that? To teach you that? Okay, well then that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. This is all doable without having to work 80+ hours a week and then babysitting every single lead that comes into your pipeline. So by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you exactly the 3 different growth stages of your marketing and then how your role changes with each stage of this marketing system. And also what a real marketing system for a business that's doing 5+ million a year actually looks like. Let's get into it. So I'm Garrett with Frazier Media, and we help companies build big brands with simple marketing systems that are designed to get you leads, grow revenue, and create freedom. Our founders have built and sold multiple home service businesses from 7 figures to 8 figures and built blue collar brands from scratch. What makes us different is we don't hide the playbook. We tell you everything that we do because the guys who actually get this information, they usually just give us a call and have us build it out for them. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the exact blueprint that gets these companies to go from 5+ million a year, scale past that so that they can grow, get more revenue, or eventually sell their business if they want to make an exit, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. And as a little side note, if you want our blue collar blueprint on how we do this for other businesses, and you can just plug it into your own system, give it to your own marketers, then click the link down below, and that's where you can get your own copy to implement into your own business. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna be reading from a few notes from my beautiful laptop of secret marketing tips and tricks, okay? You know, you've seen the book, you've seen my phone of secret marketing tips and tricks. Now we have the laptop of secret marketing hacks, tips, and tricks. Okay, cool, so enough wasting time. So, I mean, here's what we usually see from business owners that are scaling between 5 million and 15 million per year. Basically, if you're in this ballpark, you didn't get here by accident. You got here purely from grit, determination, and sheer willpower and a lack of self-empathy, right? You really like to beat yourself until you win, and you love winning, right? You hate losing. But like, right now, like in this pivotal stage, things feel heavy. They feel like growth is a little bit like slower. It just feels like you have to put so much more effort up to here just to get a return that meets somewhere in the middle, right? And then typically the marketing ends up being this like kind of funky Frankenstein thing, which is like, I don't know, it's like usually like a guy that runs your Facebook and then another guy or like a random SEO marketing agency that is getting you higher ranked online, and then you have someone else that's posting content, or maybe you're posting content yourself and you're jumping kind of like in between wherever you feel like things are slowing down, okay? We just actually had a client that was doing 8 million a year, and in his words himself, hey, we're big but we're fragile. But if I stop like pushing, then everything's gonna stall. And when we dug in, then really it wasn't like a lack of opportunity, right? It rarely ever is, okay? It's more of like a lack of systems. It's where your marketing and sales were built on like people and not the actual systems themselves. Once we took his system and then we rebuilt it, well, I mean, lack of system, right? Once we rebuilt his marketing into like a simple little documented system, then what basically with content, with ads, with like a CRM and a follow-up sequence that all work together, then that's whenever the growth stopped being chaotic, right? And then it started becoming predictable and something that you can scale up or down depending on what your production allows for. And that's basically what I want to break down for you. So basically what it falls into this camp is most $5 million companies, 5 million plus, they usually feel like they have a lead problem or maybe a we need better people issue, right? Usually they actually have just a simple system problem. Basically, whenever someone doesn't have a system, all the marketing lives in someone's head, right? It's not written down on paper. There's no actual unified view of the marketing system, like somewhere where someone can just pull it up and then you're gonna see lead, appointment, job, repeat, slash referrals. And then the content, ads, and sales are all disconnected. They're all just a bunch of ideas floating around in the ether. But you need to get all of these things unified all together so that it can work together as a whole. It's not any good having a transmission in your car. Yes, the car can go, but if every gear is the same ratio and it doesn't work all together, then it's not gonna bring the car forward any faster, right? It'll go forward at one single speed, but it won't go any faster over time. Or you could even say the analogy, it's like a four-wheel drive car, except some of the wheels are going this way, going that way. Some of them might be going backwards while the other ones are pulling forwards. And then the car just stays in one place at the time, which you need to get all four wheels rolling forward all at the same time. And that's a really good analogy for it. So in a situation like this, it almost seems like the owner is the backup plan for basically everything. And that's totally fine at $1 to $2 million worth of revenue, right? It really is. It's a nightmare though, whenever you get to 5+ million, or depending on the type of work that you do in general. And then you just need it a little bit earlier in life. Okay, before you get to 5 million, okay? Otherwise you're gonna be pulling your hair out. So if you want to scale your business or even sell your business, then your marketing has to stop being a bunch of activities and it has to be one unified machine that rolls all together on the same page. And keep this in mind, whether you're in the building or not, okay? It has to be able to work without you and your direct involvement. Now, if you wanna save a little bit of money, yes, keep yourself involved on it, right? Until you get to that scaling or acquisition stage. Just keep yourself in it, okay? Marketing is really helpful for your business. But the whole idea of this is to take you out of the equation so that you can work on other things that are growing the business, whether it's production, whether it's supplies, whether it's keeping your books straight, so that your marketing can do its own thing and it's one less thing off of the top of your head or on your platter, your plate. Because if your plate is too full, you're either gonna be obese or messy. Okay, anyway. So let me tell you the system that will grow you in 3 simple stages. All right, so phase 1 will be the building process. Okay, this is gonna take you from 0 to 2 million. Basically, the owner does everything. The owner is sales, marketing, operations. This is where your leads come from referrals, just straight up hustle, yard signs, and maybe some DIY ads that you put out through your content. Your content is whatever you can film on a phone between jobs, right? Hey, what's up guys? So we're on this job. This is what we're talking about today. Or you're riding in the truck between jobs and you're hey, just to check in, blah, 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 blah. We're doing this week. We're doing this other week. There's a poker tournament coming up. Awesome. This phase is all about proving the model, okay? You're supposed to be scrappy here, right? Don't let me take that from you, okay, man? The marketing role is kind of DIY, okay? You're the marketer. You're answering calls, you're the one closing deals while you're riding around in the truck. And that's totally fine at this stage, okay? Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The mistake is staying here for too long though. Don't want to stay there too long. Now, then you'll graduate up to phase 2. and that's between your 2 mil and 5 mil company, right? You've hired some help, but there's really no system there yet. This is where a lot of the owners, like, they'll hire their first marketing person or agency, right? They start dabbling in paid ads. They'll get a little bit like nicer branding, and then they'll start making like content, right? For their viewers or for their customers. Maybe even like bring on like a setter, inside sales, or even like start building out their office team, right? Just to take off a little bit of workload for their plate. But then they get caught into a little trap. Basically what the marketing is, it's still like a collection of people and vendors, right? It's not like a unified system yet. Reporting, like keeping your analytics together, is just like a Google Sheet here, a Google Sheet there. It's gonna be ad managers here and there, random screenshots, and everything being thrown into a group chat. Yeah, you know you're guilty. We all are. We've all been there, right? Basically, if one person quits, then the entire like agency disappears. The whole thing just starts wobbling. You know, that wheel, you lose one lug nut because there's only 3 lug nuts or 2 lug nuts on the wheel, and that thing starts a wiggling. It starts a wobbling, right? The marketing role kind of here is it's DIY but plus people. So it feels bigger than it was before, but you're still the brain. They're just helping, but you're the one that's holding it together. And really in this phase, you can grow, it's just messy. And you feel it in your calendar, and you feel it in the stress. You're definitely gonna feel it in your inability to be able to step away for even like a week. Take a vacation, bro. Like, come on. You should be able to take a week away, maybe even 5 days. That's crazy. But yeah, you gotta be able to have this actually dialed in and locked in and loaded. Then comes phase 3. This is the scaling phase, right? This is anyone that's 5 million plus in revenue in their contracting agency. So at this point, you're doing 5 million revenue plus per year, and you're thinking about doubling it or selling the business, okay? Making your exit, getting that check, baby. But at this level, what got you here will not get you to 10 million plus. Don't cheat yourself. So in this phase, your marketing needs to be a documented and repeatable system, right? And the roles are defined, they're not fuzzy, okay? This way, when you're bringing people on, you can easily give someone a role or a SOP, and they can execute it, and that's taken care of at that point, right? You just start multiplying that, duplicating, duplicating, duplicating. So let's say this person is in charge of 1 million in revenue, and you have 5 people in line, say that's 5 million. Now we just double those people or their responsibilities. Now you go from 1 to 5, and then 5 to 10. Boom. That's how growth happens. So this is where the roles are defined. They're not fuzzy, all right? Who takes care of the content? Who takes care of the ads? Who takes care of the CRM and pipeline? So it's basically the owner's job shifts from do everything to taking care of the vision, approve the message, and then hold the team accountable. At this point, you can still be the face of the business, the face of the brand, right? But you're not the glue that's holding it all together. That way, a buyer can look at it and say, oh, cool. This machine is already on autopilot, and it'll just keep producing leads for me. If I buy it, it's not just gonna lose autopilot and go crashing off the street, right? Just as soon as the previous owner leaves. So that's when you have real enterprise value, not just a stressful job with a whole lot of hats that you're flipping on, flipping off, flipping on, flipping off. So like, at this point, the question is, whenever you're at 5+ million, it's not like, do I post more content? No. It's more along the lines of, how do I turn my marketing system into, it's how I turn my marketing into a system that like a competent or like common sense team can just take the keys and know how to drive it. So let me go ahead and show you exactly what that looks like behind the scenes. So to walk you through it, I'll show you on my actual laptop real quick with a couple of screen recordings while I speak about it to you guys, just for you. So when we work with like a 5 million plus contractor, we're not just like making them more content, okay? More content's always great, right? Don't let me unsell you. But it's not better ads either, right? What we're building is just a marketing and brand system. So it looks kind of like this. Number one, you're gonna have content waterfall and authority vlog system, right? We film you once a month or like once a quarter, depending on your needs. We're gonna turn that into dozens of authority pieces, educational, proof, recruiting, culture, and then these are gonna flow into shorts, reels, YouTube, email even, and ads, okay? So you look like the obvious leader in your market, like pretty consistently, okay? There's no doubting that. When you are consistent and the leader, then really the rest takes care of it, and then other people are playing catch up to you. Now, step 2 is our case funnel, okay? So it's like content, it goes something like this: content, authority, sales, expansion, CASE. That's the case funnel. Basically, how this works is the content warms up the market and positions you as the expert. The authority gets your brand trusted before they even talk to a sales guy. All right. After that, for the sales, we push them into simple funnels for specific offers like roof replacement, commercial services, blah, blah, blah. Just depending on what you do. If you do solar, this will be a little bit different, but it's going to be specific offers. Then you end up at the expansion period, which is where we use the same machine for repeat work, referrals, and recruiting. Step 3 is going to hit the CRM and the pipeline. All right. Every lead from ads, websites, phone, and content goes into one CRM. We're building clear strategies like new lead goes to the contracted section, and then it goes to the set section, and then it goes to showed, and then it goes to closed, and then it goes to lost. So these automations handle speed to lead, follow-up, reminders, and nurture, right? You're gonna want to actually like get these leads sped up so that they can get contacted, like the follow-up stage, and then you set up reminders and then nurture sequences for anyone who has become lost in the lost stage. Now, that's when you get a dashboard, and this will tell you exactly how many leads this week, how many set and showed, and how many jobs closed, and what each lead source is worth. This way you know exactly where to pour the gasoline on the fire. So automations and delegation is our 4th point. This is where texts and emails go out automatically when someone opts in or books. Your team gets tasks pushed to them instead of guessing what to do. And then the salespeople get prepped with context on their actual leads before they call or walk into the house. Basically, what the end result here is gonna be a marketing that is no longer Sally posts, Jim runs the ads, and I hope it works. It becomes more of a machine. There's content that goes in, there's attention that comes out, there's leads that are a product of it, and those leads turn into appointments, which then turn them to jobs, reviews, and then you rinse and repeat. So these are back to the phases. You got your build phase when you're doing the things manually. You got the grow phase. That's whenever you got parts of this in place, but it's kind of messy, right? And then you got your scale phase. This brings the whole thing together to where it's documented, delegated, and tracked. So you're thinking, where am I at right now? Here's a quick way that you can see exactly where you're at right now. Okay, ask yourself, number 1, do I know without digging how many leads I got last week and where they came from? Number 2, can I see on one screen exactly my pipeline that goes from lead to job and everything in between? Number 3, if my marketer drops or leaves tomorrow, right? People do that. They get really good offers out there because a competitor is willing to get them 5 times the payment that you're paying them currently. If they drop you tomorrow or leave for whatever reason, do I have a system or do I have chaos? What does that look like for you? Number 4, is my brand something a buyer would pay for, not just a logo on shirts or a logo on trucks? Hear that silence? There's the wheels turning. There's the gears rolling. These are the questions that a lot of people don't want to answer to themselves. And if any of those answers made you uncomfortable, it's not because you're failing. It's just because you've already outgrown the way that you're doing things. That's exactly where we come in. Okay, so if you're ready to scale to that next point, I would encourage you to download our blue collar blueprint that is down in the description below. That's going to give you the roadmap from 0 to 15 plus million a year in revenue for your construction business, okay, or home service business. In there, we go over things like how to start off, how to run your first ads, how to structure those ads, how to write your own ads, how to write your own content, how to set in place the actual framework that's going to get you the best ROI, and how to run your own ads without wasting a whole ton of money before you even call us, okay? But if you are running ads and you're not getting the return that you want, then go ahead and book a call with us. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode on the main phases of scaling from 0 to 5 million and then past that, and how your role will change on each of these phases, and that it needs to change on each of these phases. If you want more content like this, then make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss the next drop. We're doing them. This is an 8-episode series, and we're doing 1 per week. And we still have a few left in this series. My name is Garrett, owner of Frazier Media Company, and I just appreciate you being along for the ride. Let's get to know each other. Cool? And cool. All jokes aside, click on one of these 2 videos. YouTube thinks you're gonna like them a lot.